The end of September. Almost October. Gosh, it goes by in a blink. We've got a nice day. I have avoided thus far the frost on my elevation, which is wonderful. Although I ran out many times with blankets to try to save tomatoes and see if I could get some tomatoes. Anyway, I just thought I'd show a look around on at the end of September. The winds have done, you can see everything's leaning one side. We've had heavy winds for many days, and they've taken their toll, but at this stage it's the end of the days, and it's the weekend, so I'm going to get busy on harvesting an awful lot and preserving, etc. First bed is the strawberry bed. We didn't get as many this year. It's only the second year. Last year we got a lot more, so I don't know what's up there. Anyways, they look healthy. See what next year brings. It was a very late. We had no June and only a few days in July, so I think that played a big part in all of the garden. This bed is one I have to really fix up. You can see the ravage of time. I'll leave some of the parsnips in, the carrots, some of them. There's a tiny wee, see my shadows in the way. Anywho, tiny wee acorn squash I think in there, which I'll eat as a zucchini. Here's a squash that the poor thing, let me get out of the sunlight. It rolled and got beaten up in the winds, and the healing spot you see there, it even looks like it has some mold. It's not healing well, so he'll have to be eaten quickly. So the celeriac chard, I've pulled most of it out. This dill plant was on the other side, and this is where he's ended up after the crazy winds. I've pulled a lot of carrots and beets out of there. It's looking empty. So carrots buried under here. This was one of the peas. Gotten an awful lot, more than you can. Well, you get sick of them, as you know. Anyway, under there, there's some parsnip. I think I'll take out. It just seems to be getting smothered. As I said, I was just too lazy to really fix this up. They've got to come out, I'd say, by the end of the weekend anyway. This is the beans. Really did well with the bush beans this year. Gave a lot away, froze a lot, and ate them. They were really good, I have to say. My husband's fully converted to green beans. Every time I served it, he said, gosh, those beans are good. So he didn't get sick of them, which is crazy. So my Lewis green beans really produced well. There's still some. I'll take the last of those off and then cut those plants down, leave the roots in. A couple of fennels. My French flambro, which I did my research. It is a French bean, but obviously a close relative of what others know as the burlati. My purple burgundy were great. Now, my soybean or edamame, you can see them in there. I did take a harvest of small ones. The beans are inside aren't the largest yet, but boy were they good. Just boiled them in salted water, and what a treat they were. So not prolific, but I will grow those again just for the treat of having something different. Okay, this bed has some carrots that can come out, I suppose, some that can stay in, some smaller, it looks like parsnips. The beets will all come out this weekend. I have fennel, leeks, here's a red curry. And I've been pulling all the Swiss chard out of this bed today. I started. And there's a squash. Don't know what that is. You can see everything's fallen over. The peas have collapsed onto what's underneath, which is celery, Milan top, purple top turnip. I'll pull some of those. My fallen tomato bed. The winds really tore everything sideways here. You can see I took some of the supports out because they were doing more damage than good, and in trying to pick some of it up, it wasn't working. But I have actually gotten, oops, my shadow. These are blushing now too. Some tomatoes, which is oh so thrilling for me here in my climate. Lots of green ones. I see some salsa verde on the agenda for today with my hot peppers inside. But I'm gonna, as I say, avoided the frost, so I'm gonna see how many can blush up here. But boy, oh boy, they look destroyed. And this is where most of my brassicas are. As you see, I don't cover, mostly because of my winds, but I try to pick them off. But at this point now, the slugs are just taking over, and I certainly have had damage on the cabbage from the cabbage caterpillar and moths. But I've gotten many heads of broccoli or calabrese, and many more to come. And they're all underneath too, if I can find. Let me see. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. There's one there. They're very packed closely, but they do well for me. They're a small head, early producer for short season. So we'll get those. Oops, I jumped. Okay. The Tranchuta kale is absolutely amazing. And I've still got a few little cabbages. There's some Brussels sprouts. They're doing well, these ones. There's only 2 plants there. Not going to feed an army, but I have some other ones up on the other hill on the garden. The last 2 beds are pretty much showing signs of old age. A couple of squash in there. And fennel. And the broccoli rabe I've had to pull out. It's a mess. Let me go around here. There's a little squash in there. I'm not sure now what that one is. Really not. I've got some boulder beets. They've still got a little ways to go. Green onions. Tranchuta kale. Got fennels. All the fennels are doing well. There's another squash in there somewhere. Where are you? There he is. And these have all, you see what the wind has done. So those will be coming out too. That's the beautiful peas. Really, really pleased with these, and they're so pretty. So pretty. So I'll pick the last of those. Celeriac. That's that bed. And oh boy, this one looks tired. What's left in here? Some kale, some boulder beets, some rapini. That plant is not going to be anything, but how cool. I know it is a loofah by the very soft, baby soft leaves. They don't have the prickles. So that was a loofah, so I'm going to try that next year. Hopefully we will have a June, if not a July. And in here is the, I'm getting the sun, is the buttercup. And he'll be perfect, I think. And celeriac and celery. And I see some other beets. So that's the beds. This is the back of my house where I just threw some dirt down this year and planted radishes and lettuce. The radishes have all come out now. I've got some carrots, and my husband's stuck. There's another trenchard of kale and rocket, Swiss chard. And you might have seen where we had leaf mulch and a bit of soil, and so I thought I'd throw some cold weather. This is a shaded part in the back of the house. So it's a hodgepodge of wildflowers for the bees. I let the radish go to seed here. I get quite sick of radishes. Most of us do, I guess. But there's some hidden in all this. You have to go hunting. Let's see. There's turnip, or rutabaga, I should say. Look, dahlia coming up very late. Everything's late. Carrots, lettuce, chard, kales. Yeah, lettuce is flowers, but lots to pick from, believe it or not, for 2 people. I've already taken a lot out of here, and will continue to do so. So, the onions, half of them, still going strong. Eluded the frost. This little patch is just some leeks, which are getting to a good size, some of them. Some of them will be tiny. Beans that I stuck in, again, the ones that I want for the dried beans. I can't get enough of those, so I'm going to really try to concentrate on doing better next year. Now that I've got more space to get a good harvest of dried beans to last us through the winter. This is funny. Let's see if you can see this. This is a rompicante squash. These go crazy if you have the right, if you can get it right, but I didn't get it right. But my girlfriend gave me one of those. And just some late plantings of, what have I got? Carrots, quick growing carrots, quick growing cabbage, broccoli. We'll see if any of those get there. And just the tail ends of, let's see. I'll try to walk over here without, there's my sage. I've cut that back a lot, but I love my sage. French onion soup, yes. There's some Brussels sprouts. Some, I think that, I haven't even picked that. That's Siberian kale, I think. My walking onions, trying to walk. They've done well. You see, this is where they fall over. Here you can see, I think it's already rooted, that one. You can break these off and stick them in too. I may get to that point. Oh, some kind of patty pan trying to be something. Not going to happen. And then just some carrots, lettuce, and even a couple of broad beans that the birds sowed for me. So, not a pretty sight at this stage, but still some food. Okay, so he's only a winner in my mind, but he's awfully pretty. Let me get the ruler. Yep. Don't think he's going to win the largest. Yeah, that's about a 2-inch head. So this little guy hasn't opened yet, but boy, would he be a winner. That's, I don't think it's the size of my thumb. Anyway, here's one. Yeah, look how tall he is. Yeah. Maybe not so much. It's not coming in clear. Let's measure that one. Half an inch? These are wind warriors. This is what good, kind, sweet people do. They drive down to your place of employment, find your car, and sneak in a rampicante squash because they know yours didn't perform well. What a sweetheart.